CM Punk.
There's Paul Heyman in the corner with his guy, Punk, giving him a little pep talk.
It's an electric atmosphere here at the Royal Rumble. Punk and The Rock. CM Punk, one of the longest reigning WWE champions in history. He brags about being the best in the world, and King has an opportunity to prove it tonight against the legendary Rock.
Yeah, you're talking about...
If you don't, it's your boy Shake.
So what up, WWE 2K15 fans? Finally, I have the opportunity to give you guys my thoughts on WWE 2K15. And you guys know this by now, that I don't give traditional reviews on games. I just kind of give you guys my likes and dislikes after playing the game for a considerable amount of time, completing some modes. I don't want to just review the game based on subtle information. I want to get as much as I can done in the game and then give you guys a respectable, thought process on whether or not you should get the game. And so we're gonna go ahead and dive into this. I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and start with my likes, because there really is a lot to like in this game. Number one, out the gate, the graphics. Absolutely, they have been enhanced for the next generation consoles. The game moves smoothly at 1080p at 60 frames per second. Next thing that I like is they drastically changed the gameplay. I mean, it's more simulation based than ever. You see a lot more realistic movements, wrestlers crawling on their knees if their stamina's low, or taking a knee when they need a break. One of the most noticeable things is after you perform a finishing move, your guy, if he's so tired, a lot of times he lays down and he has to crawl over and put his arm, to make the pin. You can see that stamina plays a big part in this year's game. The pacing is better than it's ever been before. Traditionally, the top WWE games from THQ and Ukes, their games are generally pretty arcade, and that's a little bit of a tradition. Some of you guys remember Def Jam Vendetta. There's a lot of arcade wrestling games, and this year it seems like 2K tries to deviate from tradition and bring forth a more simulation wrestling game, and they're really trying to take it to a whole new level in terms of simulation. There's loads of new authentic animations. Your chain wrestling minigame inside of grapple holds, that's also pretty cool. The great thing that I found out about the minigames is that you can actually interrupt them and break away from those minigames. There's lots more commentary from Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole than there's ever been before. It almost feels like the commentary was mostly dedicated to the showcase mode. I like that there's a new My Career mode. I think that in their first attempt, there's a lot more that needs to be done. It's obvious they left a lot of room for improvement in that category, but I'm glad that there's a legitimate My Career mode, and it lets you go from heel to face or face to heel. You can kind of switch things up, and I think it's a pretty good addition to this year's game. I've been mentioning the showcase mode, and all of the gameplay you're gonna see is coming from the showcase mode. I like how they allow you at certain times during key areas and certain storylines, you're able to switch between characters and experience a little bit of the storyline or a little bit of that rivalry through the eyes of somebody else. And one of the other features that I really like and I really got a chance to experience very recently is importing logos and emblems into the creation suite. I was able to put my own logos, my own ShakeDown logos that I've collected over the years of being on YouTube into the game. You can actually scan your real tattoo. You can take a picture of your tattoo and literally put it into Photoshop or something like that and crop it and then just upload it into the game. And then you can put your real tattoo on the body of the wrestler you want to have it on. So it's really cool that you can put these real things into the game. Now let's go into my dislikes. And I'm going to start off with that creation suite. I will say that we saw the video of how you can create your own face, put your own face in the game. Personally, I don't think it works good enough. I think that that's a feature that it's kind of a tack on. In terms of adding your own face into the game, good luck. I don't think it's as easy as they make it seem. Chopping your face up, cutting your eyes out in Photoshop, and then trying to import it into the game. The game needs more physics, and this is one of the things that I talk to the developers about. They need more physics. There's way too many times where you're swinging at a guy that's standing right there in front of you and he's maybe holding on to somebody else, maybe he's trying to perform a suplex. You just can't hit him. There's a lot of physics issues in the game that just present themselves at the wrong time, and every now and then it just makes the game look kind of crazy. There are times where you run to attack somebody, or maybe you swing at a guy that's already in an animation and there is no physical contact. So this game definitely needs an overhaul in the physics department. Dumb AI. There's a lot of times that you'll see wrestlers just standing around, especially after they've already performed the move on you. You'll see this more prominent when a guy is out of the ring and he comes into the ring and he just stands there. Or there's times where I can go out of the ring and then just get right back into the ring and he won't even attack me. And I know if you play on legendary difficulty, it seems like the game's a little harder, but in most cases the AI is just better at reversing you. A good example of dumb AI is in the 6-man tag match when you're playing in the showcase mode. There's times where they just won't even tag in the right guy for you to complete the objective. You'll just be standing there all day and the guy will get destroyed and he won't tag him in. Look at this, he won't tag him in. He's just gonna keep standing there. Tag in Kevin Nash. There's only one way for me to defeat this. Look at this, he's gonna tag in Shawn Michaels. We can do this all day. We can do this all day. I have to complete this objective, but I can't because he won't tag in Nash. I've been standing here for like 10 minutes. And he won't do it. Look at this, he's crawling on his legs. Look at their energy. All of their energies are down. Tag in Kevin Nash. I'm going to be here for another 30 minutes. This is the longest match I've ever fought in this game. It just takes forever because the AI won't do what it's supposed to do. There are still issues with hit detection. And I mentioned this when I talked a little bit about physics. And it's more prominent when you see finishing moves being done. And I always thought that was a problem, something that needed to be addressed. You know, there's previous wrestling games that allow you to interrupt finishing moves, but it gets really old to see that I'm swinging into two guys and nothing's happening. Like I'm swinging into thin air. Irish whip to the corner detection is kind of off. I mean, I don't know if this is a big problem on the PlayStation 4, but it seems to be an issue on the Xbox One. I tested it out in many matches where I was actually trying to Irish whip a guy into the corner, in the bottom right corner, or the bottom left corner at times, and it just wouldn't happen. He would just whip him into the side ropes, or whip him into the wrong direction. There's just some detection issues that make the controls feel like they're more bothersome at times than they really should be. There are times when you hold left trigger and right trigger, or L2 and R2, to drag the wrestler, and the animation doesn't come out. It just won't come out. Your guy's walking around. It just feels kind of clunky at times. Most of the time, the majority of the time, the controls are great, but then there are times when the controls feel like they're just failing you. Some of the commentary dialogue is ancient, like the line where he says, "He's putting them educated feet to good use." I think I've heard that line since the original SmackDown game. There are late reactions from the crowd. They don't seem to react to tag-ins. They don't react to big moves at times. And also, the crowd this year is the best crowd that I've ever seen. This is one of my likes. Literally one of the best crowds that I've ever seen in any video game. You know, there's very few duplicates, and the duplicates that you see, they're spread out nicely. It seems like they really focused on making the crowd look nice this year. I just wish they would react to the action on time, on cue, more often. It just would make the game flow a lot better, especially on a 1-2 count. I personally liked the 30 Years of Wrestlemania better than the showcase mode. I don't know what it was, it just got a little boring using Triple H and Shawn Michaels for all those matches, and then, you know, John Cena and CM Punk for 19 matches. It just, after a while, it got tiresome. I thought 30 Years of Wrestlemania, and then of course beating the streak from The Undertaker in WWE 2K15, I thought that was a lot better. It was a lot more to do, and it's just something about unlocking new characters as opposed to just a bunch of different attires. To me, it would have been more fun to unlock legends of the game, and I think they need to bring back 30 Years of Wrestlemania. There's still more matches that they didn't put into the game before, and even some, you know, you could redo some matches. I just think it was so much more fun, and I know that they did it already. They probably want to move on, but John Cena and CM Punk and Shawn Michaels and Triple H for that many matches just got boring after a while. Some of the big dislikes that a lot of people are going to be pissed off about: you cannot create female wrestlers. And I know that might sound kind of strange coming from me since I don't typically use females, but I used to always create a female manager for whatever wrestler that I was creating at the time. If whatever was going to be my lead creation, I'd create a female manager. I just always thought it was funny to have one. And then, you know, it was really cool to download Chyna and Lita and, you know, some of the other great female wrestlers. It just seems like, wow, creating female wrestlers was literally like one of the major options that everybody clung to in this game for so many years, and then for them to go next gen finally and then completely remove that out of the game, oh my god, if they had announced that prior to the game's release, I know a lot of people would have stayed away from buying this game. You cannot customize a title, you cannot customize a ring or an arena. I just thought that was kind of, you know, we're talking about next gen and it feels like we're taking a step backwards. You know, it's really cool to have nice graphics, but it feels kind of bad to be limited in certain areas that we're used to. Customizing a title, customizing a ring, these are the things that I've grown accustomed to. The roster is smaller than it's ever been before. In terms of things that you cannot customize or create, you also can't create a finisher this year. And I used to spend hours designing one of my, like a beastie finishing move. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I did so well posting WWE footage on my channel for WWE 13, because I had my own custom finishing moves. And I thought everybody liked that. I thought it was really cool to design my own finishing move. I used to run across the ring and chop your ass down. It was a lot of fun. You know who it is! Chop your ass down! Well, they removed that feature too, and so you can't design a custom ring, you can't design a belt, you can't create female wrestlers, and you can't even create a finisher. So it seems like they took a step backwards. Only 6 men in the ring or on screen at a time. But after talking to the developers, I found out that it was a lot harder to make that happen. They said it was not enough real estate to make the wrestlers have a legitimate wrestling match. It just, with the moves that they have in the game, there's just not enough space for them to put that many wrestlers on screen, for example in a Royal Rumble. But I still thought that 6, being limited to 6, I figured we could just take it to 9 at least, or to 12, at least something a step forward. But again, it just felt like we're limited. The takeaways I have for this game: it really feels like a foundation game, like the same way NBA 2K14 felt. It felt like it was stripped down, a lot of things missing that's, you know, traditional for this legacy, and it just makes it kind of hard to appreciate all the new authentic animations, the more realistic, smoother gameplay, the simulation aspects that they implemented into this year's game. It's kind of hard to appreciate all that when it kind of feels like you're taking a step back in areas that we spend the majority of our time in. In terms of in-the-ring performance, this is one of the best, if not the best, wrestling game in terms of gameplay, in terms of simulation. It is more realistic, the pacing is phenomenal. If you get the game and you fight somebody online, you'll see that there's less ways for them to cheat you or use cheap tactics. But just be wary of some of the issues. The controls are at times clunky. You'll be jamming away at the Y button to pull off a finisher, and it just doesn't happen. I mean, I can go back to the early SmackDown versus Raw games, or Here Comes the Pain. You just push the Y button, you push the triangle button, whatever button it was back in those days, and it automatically happened. You were ready to go. This year it just feels real sluggish at times, and the controls can feel clunky. But I'm definitely going to call WWE 2K15 the foundation game. It feels like they're just getting started, like they're starting from ground zero. There's not a whole lot here and there, and they're kind of working their way up. I look for next year's game to have a way deeper My Career mode with maybe a voice for your My Career character. I'm hoping that next year's game will have more physics, and maybe they'll take the limit from 6 people in the ring to maybe 9 or 12 people in the ring at once. They have to bring back the female car, and they have to bring back the ability to create a finisher again. So it's your boy Shake. This is just my take on the game. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you agree with me or not, definitely smack the like tab. It helps the channel grow. It helps me out a lot, trust me. And I'm definitely planning on posting some My Career footage. As always, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll holla at you dudes later.
Hey, the boss! Hold on.
CM Punk, your celebration is over.
No, 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 no. We ain't ending this night like that. You don't take it from him. I am.
Oh!
Restart the match now.
Are you kidding me?
You heard the man. Restart the match.
Yes! Look at Heyman, he's going nuts! The Rock taking advantage.
How much more? How much more are you willing to pay to win this match? This is unreal. Look at this. He's just barely moving. I'm not sure he can get back to his feet. Uh-oh, look at this.
Astonishing maneuver by The Rock.
Yes, yes, yes. Do it again, Rock. Do it again. Oh, his body has to be broken right now. The people's elbow. Thanks for playing. He may get the 3 count right here. 3.
The Rock has done it. The 10-year wait is over. The Rock is once again the people's champion.
Oh, man.
The Rock made a promise to the WWE Universe and to himself, and he kept that promise here tonight to win his 8th WWE Championship.
The great one, maybe the greatest of all time, has delivered tonight.
Oh, man, what an electric moment here tonight at the Royal Rumble. And we are now officially on the road to WrestleMania.